Hey guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, so as usual, we're on our way to school. Put some lip gloss on. I always do this. For class. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. My goodness, I just have a lot going on school-wise. So I would have to like fix my lipstick because like sometimes the lipstick goes over, I put too much. My teacher. So lately, if you guys are not familiar, I know that I've been posting these on my main channel. If y'all are not familiar with, oh shoot, I forgot to put on deodorant. Oh shit. Whatever. If you guys are not familiar, I am currently doing classes at this place, and I got the classes because of the Texas workforce. They basically, if you sign up, you can do these classes and you'll get your NCCER and like construction, you know, certain aspects of refinery work like construction and stuff. And if you don't know what the NCCER is, basically it's just a test that you take to show that you can do the job. It's like, you know, when you are getting your law degree, you gotta take the bar. And there are different levels of an NCCER. Like right now, we're just getting our basics. So if we want to get a job in a refinery, instead of me constantly doing labor jobs, which I have no problem taking a labor job, I'm not saying nothing bad about those. But if I want to do something that makes more money, which I do, okay, you better get over. Like, I hate when they just sit there. Like, get the fuck over. If you want to do more than just that, you take your NCCR and you get better in your career. Anyway, this one will hopefully get us to become helpers. Helpers make twice as much as a laborer for the most part. And sometimes they don't, you know, it just depends. Like, and helpers make probably like $10 more usually an hour. And the course is free. I'm currently not working, and I'm not even actively looking for work right now, just because I know that it's really important for me to get this paperwork. You know what I mean? Like, I really need to do this so that I can get better in the career and get more experience and blah blah blah. So ultimately what I want to do is like pipe fitting, rigging. Those what I want to do. Pipe fitting does require a lot of math, but I'm willing to learn more math. Obviously, it's not even like it's algebra math. It's like fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplication, like stuff like that. It's very, very simple math. So I don't have a problem doing that. And then with rigging, you're just, you know, tying up things, learning the different hooks and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So yesterday, basically in class, my teacher, he like was interested in me. He was definitely making me a favorite, showing, like, you know when they don't come out and say it, but you can just tell when somebody is interested in you. You can just tell, you know. He was showing me different type of attention, whatever, which was fine with me. You know, he wasn't overstepping the lines or anything like that. So he started noticing that I was just showing another guy attention, basically. I mean, I wasn't interested in this guy because the guy has 2 kids. He's younger than me, and he has a background, like a big background. Which, nothing wrong with having a background, but his is like really big. And it's just, right now in my life, I'm just kind of like, I'm just not. Anyway, whatever. I don't have much time because we're headed to class. So the guy, so my teacher started acting funny with me. He was making sure I didn't sit next to the guy. Every time he saw me talking to the guy, he kind of had a problem with it. He would be looking certain ways. And sometimes the teacher does try to make me jealous. He does. Like, and then he also wanted me to sit right here, right by him, by his desk in class. Okay. So I don't know if he just expects more out of me, which is really annoying because a lot of times whenever I do stuff, people expect more out of me, so they always treat me worse, which is annoying. Go! Like, it's like, they're like, oh, well, I expected more out of you, so that's why and it's like, no, don't do that. you know, I'm very happy that you expected more out of me, but don't treat me worse. Sometimes, you know, I play around in class. Like, I'm kind of like the class clown. I've already said this before. I like to joke sometimes, whatever. So, yesterday we were working with power saws. Like, you know, very sharp saws that were powered. They weren't pneumatic. These were, you know, the plug-in ones. Pneumatic is air saws. And the saw, like, some of the people, they were doing things very wrong. Very, very wrong. Like, you could hurt yourself, you know. He kind of did a little demonstration. He didn't even really do one. It was very quick. And then he just put us out there with them. So one guy in particular, he kept doing shit very wrong, and I was just like, yo, you're doing it wrong. I had to tell him, okay? So I didn't feel very safe. So I was like, you know what? If these people are making this type of mistakes, let me sit back and watch. So I watched people go through. Then I kept saying, like, okay, it's my turn. I want to do it. And then I would move around, and by the time I moved around, like, another person had already started. So I was like, okay, you know what? I mean, it's no rush. Let me just watch everybody until the end, you know, and then I'll just, you know, jump in or whatever. So my turn came, and I was like, you know, he was like, who hasn't gone? He said, all right, Irma. And so I was joking, and I looked around, and I was like, who? You know, so I walked over, and that made him really mad because he just thinks that I'm just fucking around all the time. Just because I was standing in the back. And anyway, let me just finish this. I'm interrupting my own damn self. I get up there, and he says something like, all right, now let's let you do this because, you know, you've been clowning around this whole time anyway. And I said, what? He said nothing. He says with an attitude, just do it. And I was like, okay. So all I asked him was, I put it up there, and I was like, you know, am I doing this right? He was like, how do you not know if you're doing it right? He just started going off, y'all. Like, he was so mad at me, and it was just like, what the fuck? He's like, you're always standing in the back, and he just started saying stuff. Okay, guys, listen, I am 5'8". Even the men in my class are not 5'8". Almost everybody in there is literally like 5'5", 5'4". There's a few people who are like 6 foot, very few. All the people who are like 5'8" and over, we all stand in the back because the little people in the front have to see things, you know. They can't stand behind us, so I use my cell phone and I record everything. Like, I watch everything, you know what I mean? And then I go home and I just re-watch the footage. But I always, and like, I'm the one person in the class, I always ask questions. I always participate. I'm there every day. There are so many people who miss so many days, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Anyway, but you know, that never matters to anybody, okay? It's just all that matters to people is what they're talking about right now. That's all that matters. And so I told him, I was like, excuse me? I said, can I ask you a question? Is that a problem? And that's exactly how I said it. I was like, because I'm just trying to figure out. And he's like, well, how do you not know it? And I said, because I just don't. I did not know how to use the power tool. I can watch as many people do something. I'm one of those people, I kind of need to touch it, you know, and feel it to know what I'm doing. When I got up to it, I didn't know where the lever was. I didn't know what the push, what the pull. Everything was happening so fast, and there's so many of us. So I was just like, okay, when I get up there, you know, and of course it's okay to ask questions, but nobody knew what they were doing, and everybody was like needing help. And first of all, there's like 20 of us. He gave us like 30 minutes to, number one, introduce ourselves to the power tool. Then he wanted all of us to go around on each one. There were 2 power tools. So he wanted each of us to go on each one. And just because you show like a person doesn't mean that the person doesn't have to redo it. Multiple people had to redo it multiple times. Like a lot of the people in the class. So I was just like, no, you know, anyway, he was just tripping. Like, he thinks that I'm playing around. It's not like even if I am in the back, let's just say I'm in the back, okay, because I'm not. I'm behind a few people, you know, but I'm looking around, I'm watching. That doesn't mean that I'm talking to people and I'm having conversations. Like, I'm watching, I'm just not watching right up front. Like, and if I do try to get up front, I'm blocking other people. So anyway, it was just like, he was just so disrespectful. So it obviously made me feel some type of way, because me and him sat up there and argued, and I wasn't sure, because there were 3 different lines, and I was like, okay, so which line do I cut from? And he was like I don't got time for this. And I was like, what? I said, I'm just asking a question. So after that, you know, I used the power tool, I sawed it off. It was the other tool. He said something like, has everybody used this tool, blah blah? And so I said, well, I would like to. I said, I haven't, but I don't want to ask no questions, because I don't want you to go off on me. Y'all, this man, before that happened, like while I was on the first power tool, like when he was being combative, he told me, you know, you could take it to the house. And it's like, and that's when, so yeah, basically he was telling me, you know what, you know, you can go home. You know, you don't have to come back. And it wasn't even like we were full-blown arguing, just because if you even question this man's authority, like he just has a problem with anything. Then what else happened? Oh my gosh, he said something like oh yeah, so when we first were like kind of having our little back and forth, which is so embarrassing and so stupid, I hate arguing, I don't want to come to class to argue, okay? He said something like, this is what was kind of setting me off, because he said something like, he said, you want to quit? You want to quit? Like, this was at the beginning, like literally when we were kind of having our, and I was just like, you know, you're a fucking creep, you know? It's obvious that I'm like, I think that, because he's been acting strange ever since I was not showing him any attention, because he thinks he's all that, because he's a teacher, he's a man in authority. But yeah, like, that's anyway. So he calls me to the back, he's like, Erin, let me have a word with you, you know? So I'm talking to him, you know, we're kind of having our little back and forth. And he said, you know, this is how I run my class. You teach, you learn the way I teach you. And I said, everybody learns differently, and that's what you don't understand. Like, I was trying to tell him, like, you know, he's like, you're in the back the whole time? You're not paying attention? And I'm like, yes, I am. Let me get this straight. Just because I don't understand something in class and I make a little joke, you are just so serious and so mad, and it's just really brought you to the edge that you felt the need to demean me, talk shit, and try to send me home and just be like, you can go home, you know? And this, I'm not the only person in class he's told that to. Like, these people are so fucking unprofessional. I really hate this, and I'm like, I don't know, because he just tries to make refinery work seem like it's so hard, it's so demanding, it's so this, it's so that. Refinery work is like 30% work, 70% safety. Just trying not to hurt yourself. That's basically what refinery work is for the most part. Like, they care about safety more than you even doing your job, you know? So since we were speaking about that, we were using a saw. We weren't wearing any face shields, and you're supposed to, you know? We had our earplugs in, but like, you couldn't even hear the lesson very well, because he had us put in the earplugs at the beginning when we were out there. So I, you know, and I took mine off because I couldn't even hear him, you know? But yeah, you're supposed to be wearing like a face shield, because there was so many particles flying. And yeah, we had on our like, hey, yeah, we had on our little like head thing or whatever, but like, there was so many particles flying and shit. So anyway, it was just really stupid. So I mean, obviously it's okay if he does it. I mean, there were just I personally was just standing in the back. I was kind of nervous, because when I saw how all those people were doing things, like they were almost hurting themselves, I was like, oh heck no. I already know I'm gonna be the one person in class who hurts themselves. So I was like, heck no, I'm gonna have to see how everybody does theirs first, and then Irma will come in later and do her thing, because I'm not about to die over this.